All right, let's talk about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. All of a sudden, Bryce Young looking like a number one overall pick again, right? I mean, maybe him getting benched was exactly what this team needed. He's playing good football right now. There's no real other way to describe it. Let's talk about what he's doing so well. Real quick, I'll take 15 seconds to say that I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, want to hear my thoughts on some movies, you can check that out. The link is in the description below. Jackson Kruger Movies is the name of the channel. But yeah, let's start off with this play. So you see, I've highlighted Tampa Bay interior defensive lineman. That's Kalijah Cansey. Watch how when this play begins. There was a play action that was designed to help out the blocking. It did the opposite. Cansey was able to shoot through before the offensive lineman could get in position, and now Bryce Young is in trouble. This is going to be a really nice play from Bryce Young. Watch how he sidesteps Cansey and finds an open Jonathan Brooks, flips it over a defensive lineman to make that happen. That's honestly one of the most impressive things I've seen from Bryce Young this stretch is how he's doing this. And he always would show the flashes of doing this even when he was struggling, but we're really seeing it pay off right now. Jonathan Brooks, to his credit, watch him make not one but multiple Tampa Bay players miss. He's going to pick up a good amount of yards on that one. So, hey, getting it to your skill players help. But that's just a huge play for Young, right? That turned what realistically should have been a sack, and now you're looking at 2nd and 17 is the drive over. Instead, you pick up 15 yards, and now you're near midfield, and, there you go. So, it's just a really good play. Something like this, too. So, okay, it's a 7-3 game. It's 3rd down and 10. That's important to note. So it's going to be a zone blitz that Tampa Bay is running. Again, it's Todd Bowles, right? You're going to see every coverage in the book when you play him. Because of this, when this play begins, you see there's pressure off the edge. I thought the Panthers offensive line did a really good job blocking here, but now there's just one extra guy to block. A bit too much to handle right now for the Panthers. Bryce Young, though, he has mobility. As you see, watch him get around that and just, while completely throwing backwards, he locates a open player. As a Tampa Bay defender made a bad call going for Young when really he should have stayed back and played coverage. But it's a great play from Young to notice that and to be able to make that throw while off balance like that. This is why he got drafted 1st overall, right? So this is really good stuff. We could talk some negatives. There wasn't a ton, but there were some, and I do want to get into the negatives because, I always feel like sometimes when a narrative like this happens where a player who was playing poorly plays well, people just only talk about the good and don't talk about the whole picture. So I want to talk about the whole picture. That being said, it was mostly good, but let's get into the negatives. So you have this play. It's a 3rd down and 4. You have a one-on-one matchup on the outside. These are key plays. If you can hit on these, this is how games are won and lost in the NFL, and the Panthers struggled to hit on these. Here you're going to see Xavier Legette, the receiver, gets open. I mean, he has a step. Now, it would have taken a good throw, for sure, but that wasn't even a competitive ball. Young kind of just throws it out of bounds to where it wasn't going to be a completion. You would have liked to see him give his receiver a bit more of a chance there. I think that's fair to say. Also on this one, which was a huge play in the game. Now, listen, Panthers ultimately scored the touchdown anyway, but as of right here, you're down 4 points. You have a one-on-one matchup. It's going to be a wonky play, but you see once again that this play, it's, not a great throw. I mean, it's weird because there looked like there was contact, but they didn't slow down David Moore at all. So it was kind of a weird defense. I'm not sure what was happening there with Jamel Dean, but the reality is, I think if Young puts that one on the money, that's probably a touchdown. So yeah, not the best throw there by Young. And one last negative, this play, which was, an overtime game, a huge spot in the game, 3rd down and 5. If they hit on this, you would think, in field goal range, surely you'll win. Obviously, we know that's not how it ended up happening, but you see Bryce Young takes the snap, and to be honest, it's a missed throw here. I mean, Thielen made an unreal catch, so that's what the story was, and rightfully so. That's an unbelievable catch. But Thielen was open, and that throw was a lot more difficult than it had to be, or that catch was a lot more difficult than it had to be because of the missed throw from Bryce Young, which Thielen said, hey, don't worry about it, buddy, I got you. So, good job picking the right guy to throw to. Like, I legitimately mean, that's a good job. But yeah, there were some plays that he would have liked to have back in there. However, like I said, this was kind of it for the negatives. Other than a few missed plays here, he was really good. Something like this where, the rushing, I think was, that's been a positive for his entire career. Even when he was struggling, the rushing was still good, and it's still good. You have this play where, only 2 Tampa Bay players covering over the middle of the field, and you have 2 defenders on 2 wide receivers toward the bottom of the screen. So when Bryce Young takes the snap, he looks up and there is a running lane, through the offensive line. And at this point, the Tampa Bay player who I've circled is realistically the closest guy who can make a tackle. And to be honest, he's reading this pretty well. But it doesn't matter. Bryce Young is just faster. A different Tampa Bay player gets over, and that's Antoine Winfield. Closes really well, but not well enough. And Bryce Young on a 3rd and 5 turns what should have been a stop into 7 points. Again, those are key plays right there. That's a 4-point play that they had. And even something like this, it's a small thing, but this was really impressive. This is something no one's going to talk about because it's not a play that worked, but it's, I think, still impressive. So you have pressure off the edge. It's a 3rd down and 4 for the Carolina Panthers. You see pressure off the edge, but watch Bryce Young. Watch how he, while getting clobbered, throws across his body and makes a catchable pass, right? It wasn't caught. It falls incomplete, but that was like a play that had a chance to work when it realistically should not have had a chance to work. That is just good stuff there by Bryce Young. I don't know how else to describe it. And then this play, that final drive was really, really good by Bryce Young. I mean, that's underselling it. It was fantastic by Young. He made some nice plays to get to this point. But usually on these, in these drives, you need one key play. And you are in a bit of a tough spot for Bryce Young, because you're thinking 36 seconds left at the 25, you got plenty of time, but they don't have any timeouts. So one tackle in bounds, and that could kill most of the clock, and now you have your back up against the wall. So getting a play would be key. You have Adam Thielen running, trying to get into a gap in coverage over the middle of the field. Bryce Young is going to take the snap right here. He looks over, and there is pressure by Vita Vea, but there's also a window over the middle where he could run. But again, you don't want to step up and run, even though he does have, about 10 yards worth of ground after the line of scrimmage that he could pick up, because then you have to hurry up and spike it. It's not worth it. So he keeps his eyes downfield, locates Thielen, and is able to make an off-balance throw, perfectly accurate. Thielen gets the touchdown, and they go up 3 points. The only issue is they ended up scoring a little too early, which you got to take the touchdown if you can get it. It's the right call, especially to go up 3 points. But Tampa Bay was able to force overtime. Chuba Hubbard fumbles in overtime after that Adam Thielen catch. So unfortunately for the Panthers and for Bryce Young, they lose the game. But yeah, I thought Bryce Young played very well in this game. And if you're a Panthers fan, I know it's disappointing to see you lose against a division rival, but at the same time, this is exactly what you want, right? Seeing Bryce Young's development. Earlier I was saying, okay, you probably got to move on, get a new quarterback. I'm not saying that now. I don't think anyone's saying that now. He feels like he's easily earned another year, which is awesome to see if you're a Panthers fan. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.